Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. In this short video, I want to make a distinction between primary triggers, secondary triggers, and tertiary triggers. A primary trigger, I'm talking about physically, that's just your natural construction of your body. When your brain notices danger, the flight or flight response is activated. Your adrenal glands at your kidneys produce adrenaline to boost physical power for you to fight or flight the danger. That's a natural trigger. There are also natural sexual triggers also. And then you have secondary triggers. Those are triggers that are conditioned into you socially. For example, when you see a traffic sign, you stop. Or when you see a police officer, you show respect. Those are secondary triggers. And secondary triggers, they have their purpose in daily life in order for people to function. But then there's a thing called tertiary triggers. Those are environmental actors that trigger the secondary triggers that are installed in you. So, for example, you are in a cafe, suddenly some individual walks in with white clothes, with a white suit. Now, you have been conditioned to give credit to those that are important, or else something bad may happen. You've been conditioned this way by your society. So people that dress in an important manner, that's a secondary trigger, that you treat them with giving them honor. So you have the primary trigger to avoid danger, the secondary trigger to give homage to people that are important, and now someone enters the restaurant wearing a white suit, and you've been conditioned subliminally that that's an important individual. So that tertiary trigger, that circumstance now triggers the secondary and the primary trigger. I hope I've illustrated this well. Or it can be that someone grew up in an abusive household where there was a lot of physical violence and where the individual had to anticipate someone else's reaction. So such an individual, the primary trigger for physical safety is there, it's natural. Now you have a secondary trigger that they've been conditioned to give in to the will of others no matter what, just to be safe. So anytime someone, let's say that such an individual is in college, let's say she now hears someone says something like, it's cold weather, but she don't wear any socks. And suddenly she's triggered because the secondary trigger that she disappointed someone is also triggering the primary trigger of avoiding danger. You get what I'm saying here? So that's how primary, secondary, and tertiary triggers work. Why is it important to know this? Because secondary triggers, they're in some way natural because you need them to operate in daily life. There's nothing wrong with them. But what if you've been conditioned with the wrong triggers? The wrong triggers will enable unclean spirits to use tertiary triggers to rule you. Yes, to rule you, because that's what demons want to do, to rule you. They can't rule you directly all the time, but they do want to rule you in your perception. That's why it's important to be renewed in your mind. Because if you don't renew it in your mind and you still have those old secondary triggers, it can go wrong. That being said, agree with Christ, be at peace.